relics left the Constellation, they rode through a part of Baltimore that had been destroyed in the Great Fire of 1904. They headed over to the Baltimore Museum of Industry to check out a legend about the Baltimore Fire Department's machine shop making adapters that helped save Little Italy and the rest of the city from burning to the ground.
Have fun.
All right, we've got a unique opportunity today. We're at the Baltimore Museum of Industry. We've got Ed here. He's going to show us some of the inner workings of 19th and early 20th century machining here. So Ed, take it away. What are we looking at?
Okay, most of these pieces here are, some of these pieces are from the actual fire department where they actually made adapters. And I'll talk to you about adapters later on, but we still have to use adapters when they come in from Baltimore County to fight a fire in the city.
Oh really? There was no common threads or common
right now,
sizes?
They still have to come in and use adapters.
Really?
But these pieces here we use specifically to talk to the kids about the Great Baltimore Fire. And so we tell them how it started, why it's...
Now what year was that?
1904.
04. That pretty much wiped out the whole downtown
Well,
area, didn't it?
1,500 buildings.
Over 1,200 firefighters responded from as far as New York City. The fire burned and spread for 2 days because many of the out-of-town fire hoses could not connect to Baltimore's different size fire hydrants.
And the streets of Baltimore were only 50 feet wide at that time. And they were wood and cement. And the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour that night. It was below freezing.
Like a blast furnace, huh?
Yeah. It blew out the windows and what have you, and the embers kept going all over the place.
Legend has it that as the fire was heading out of control, the fire department machine shop started making brass adapters that would match the fire hoses to the hydrants.
And be so accurate, too.
But what we're using here, in order to save time and all, we're using very soft material.
Sure.
We'd be using brass if we were going to make parts here. So
Saves your tooling, too.
it saves all my tooling. But the best thing about this is these things. There's one, nobody would never been able to figure out. I even tried to Google it. The only place this belt is belted is right here. So in order to make the belt, you had to go all the way around that horse or whatever, the cow, because there's no other pieces in here. And we tried to figure out how in the world they could cut a belt like that. But we got enough leather here that when it breaks right here.
Right.
Now all these pieces have different sizes, so we can use them for each.
Now, what would have powered in the day the original motor that drew?
The original motors was actually that motor right there. That was designed right here in Baltimore. That's a White and Middleton engine.
Hit and miss.
Hit and miss.
So people that have never seen overhead belt drive system before, just explain a little bit about the speeds and feeds and how you can
Here's
vary
what happens
all that.
here. We have back here in the corner, we have a 7.5 horsepower open winding motor. It goes back to the mid-1950s.
Wooden drive sheets.
That's canvas, isn't it?
Yep.
That's a canvas belt.
That's a canvas belt.
Yeah. It's like fire hose material.
So Westinghouse Electric.
Yeah, it's a 7.5 horsepower.
Watch yourself right here.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? Awesome. Yeah, be careful looking through that. You don't get that wild hair of yours caught. So that would be your main drive that would drive that whole bank.
7 different machines are driven by this system, including 2 lathes, a milling machine, a grinder, a hacksaw, a flatbed planer, and a metal shaper. The leather belts are from 2 to 5 inches wide and up to 15 feet long.
Okay, Ed, we're going to engage this lathe here?
We are.
Okay, so our main drive is running. Okay, go ahead.
Very good. Now, I'm going over the
Rob worked with more modern versions of this as a machinist at General Motors, and Mark still works with similar machines at the Strasburg Steam Railroad.
This is the same thing. I mean, shapers, milling machines. So easy to come in here and recognize them. Same thing for Mark. You know, this is technology that was proven over 100 years ago.
Oh, it's 100 years ago.
Still works today.
It's perfect.
Yep, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You know, precision is...
Steam railroad uses almost all the same equipment now.
You'll never go any place to see stuff like
No,
this.
certainly not working. And somebody knowledgeable.
The relics spend over an hour in Ed's world, and then take him outside to experience their world.
Flatheads and knuckleheads and panheads. This is a pan head bottom. This 1949. This one here.
Holy smokes.
Suicide clutch. This is your clutch.
Why,
Now you see why we like all that.
why do they call it a suicide?
All right, if you don't have this in neutral, you take your foot off, you're out in the intersection. That's why you call it a suicide clutch. You kill yourself. So, you can see now why we love what you do. We're all about the old mechanical, you know, form and function. Put it in reverse. There's reverse. So you start it, you retard the spark a little bit. Put the enricher on off switch. How's that?
I gotta get a shot of this.
There we go. There's for your Facebook
Slow down,
fans.
Ed. Just slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit.
Absolutely.
Ed's doing about 80 miles an hour right now, sitting still.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's better.
There you go. Send this out to your donors here.
You know what's going
look
through my
down
head?
on it,
Bike
it looks
exhibit
like a
maybe,
knuckle,
but what's
just
going
like
through my
that,
head is public
where
program.
the
Just
bells
get
are.
people here and explain how this is made.
Yes.
Because I've been thinking we should talk about more about how things are
And how
made.
they
That's
work,
sort of
of
what
course.
ties us all together.
I mean,
so you could start by talking about how motorcycles made. I mean, he built this, right?
It was never restored.
Yeah.
It was all stuff.
Am I on camera?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Take care, buddy. Great meeting you. We'll be back.